So today I'm going to be cutting this piece of citrine quartz. Pretty nice clarity in it, pretty decent size. Now just because it's this rectangle shape, I'm actually going to try and do an oval cut. And I have a book that shows the blueprints here on what I'm going to be doing. So the first part is I'm going to be starting off by grinding a flat side on this piece of citrine. So just quickly onto the lap wheel with my hand here. And now I got a good spot for a dop. Now a dop is this little piece of metal here. I'm just heating it up with some wax. And I'm applying jeweler's wax. Now the jeweler's wax that's black is more heavy duty. There's different colors of jeweler's wax. And I prefer to use this stuff because the last thing you need is your gem popping off when you're in the middle of cutting it. So I'm just taking a look to make sure that everything looks centered here. And I decided it wasn't, so I broke it off and decided to retry again. Now getting it as close to the center as possible is going to maximize the amount of carats we're going to get out of it, so it's a pretty important step. Alright, so I'm going to be starting by roughing this out. I'm going to be doing 6 main facets on here. And now you can see here that it's the general shape of an oval, so we're starting out. Now I'm just working on the pavilion, which is the bottom of the gem right now. And here we have the first facets on the pavilion cut. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the break facets, which is going to make this a lot more complex of a design. Now once I get that all faceted in, I'm going to use some cerium oxide, and you can see here there's dull and shiny facets, and the facets that are shiny there were the polished. Alright, so we got the pavilion cut up here, got it polished. Now we're going to do a dop transfer, and this for me is the most challenging part of gem cutting, because if you mess this part up, you're never going to be able to cut a properly aligned gem. So this device ensures that we get an exact, perfectly parallel attach to the new dop. So again, I'm just going to do the applying of the jeweler's wax here on the brass. And yeah, just this piece of graphite here just allows me to shape it into a little bit of a cone of wax on the end there. So now I have to go ahead and heat the one side of the gemstone as well as the wax without heating the opposing side and causing the gem to fall off. If the other wax gets too hot here, it'll drop your gem, which is pretty much worst case scenario for a gem cutter. So now that we got that dopped up, I'm just going to take it out and give it a little spin in my hands and make sure everything feels aligned. And now I'm going to melt off the first dop stick here. Alright, now we're back to it. Now I'm going to be working on the crown. Now the crown's the top half of the gem, now that the pavilion's been cut. And it's just a slow, steady, easy process. So here we have the first 6 facets cut. Now you can see the angle of the machine has changed as I'm working on the break facets on this side now. So I got that all finished up. Now I'm just grabbing this 45-degree adapter, and what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to cut the table. And the table is the top of the gem that's got to be cut at exactly 90 degrees. So I set the machine at 45, and this adapter as well is 45 degrees. So once I add my dop, The gem is now sitting at a perfect 90 degree, and I'm able to cut the table. And again, the table is the top viewing window of the gem. So just looking over things with the magnifying glass. Alright, and lastly I'm going to cut the girdle, which is the side of the gem. Just making sure it's nice and polished up. I got the main crown polish now as well. Just pops off like that. You can break off the wax. And here we have a finished gem. This ended up being 4.5 carats. I'm extremely happy. The oval cut is a very complicated cut. And I think this turned out pretty good for my first oval. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like content like this, make sure to subscribe. And if you give my video a like, it really helps the channel grow.